Hi everyone, welcome back in my channel today. Hope you are doing good and well. So in the last video we discussed about the managed portfolio and we discussed that how the CSDM conceptual model is linked with the CMDB table. Now when I was preparing this video, I was recording these videos, I was thinking that ServiceNow should replace the CSDM with the CSDM. That is common service, or it should be CSCDM, common service conceptual data model, because it is not well, I'll not say saying that it is not well proved. No, it's not a right term here. I'll not say that it's not well established. It's again not the right term here, but still it's not 100% accurate and verified and certified. Yes, we are not going to make any change here, so it should be like this. But again, it's my feedback, my thought, because I'm thinking from the consulting perspective. Now in today's video, which is specifically important for, if I say, for the consultants who are doing the work as a business analyst or a business process consultant, because in this particular recording, in this particular video, we are going to be discussed that if I need to implement CSDM in my organization, what step I should follow. I'll say before you go for this video, there's a video available on my channel that is say that best practices to implement a project. If you get a chance, please go through that, because you can use that steps as well in this particular area. Okay, before I go for actual discussion, everybody know that ServiceNow provide a checklist when we need to upgrade our instances, when we want to change the family of our instance from London to Tokyo, and all the things will be there. It includes 7 or 8 major steps. Check the release notes, get the cloning, take the data backup, then you can say do the dev testing, then go for a test or the UAT or QA part, and then go for the production. Before that, you have to take a customer sign off, trainings, material updates, and all the things will be there. ServiceNow also follows something similar fundamental in this process as well. So let's come here for the discussion. So what ServiceNow says that if you want to implement CSDM, I say implementation is not the right word if I say here. Okay, the better word is how to use or how to follow the CSDM. Okay, so ServiceNow say number 1 point, that never ever try to eat the whole cake at once. It says that don't think that I want to use this particular model. I'll not say the use, basically I want to implement this particular model in a one go. It is never ever recommended by even ServiceNow. Never. There are the steps, there are the points which ServiceNow say that everybody should follow and then go. If you already implemented item in your organization, in your customer area, in your account area, then you know that even though item says that how the maturity come, the same thing is applicable here. So ServiceNow divided this implementation in the 5 steps: foundation, crawl, walk, run, and fly. I really like this word crawl, because when a baby because the baby learn the crawling first, and then walk, and then run, and then fly. And if we are from India, you remember there are 2 good athletes who make a record, PT Usha and Milkha Singh. They crawl, they walk, they run, and they fly. People say when Milkha Singh run, it's like a flying. He was called the flying bird as well, flying Milkha. Okay, so in the same manner, ServiceNow say that you should follow these 5 steps, these 5 stages to implement or follow the CSDM. Don't think, because it is not a concept, or it is not a one-day activity. It is required minimum 6 months to 1 year to implement end-to-end CSDM. That is experience I'm telling here. Okay, what says? Foundation says just focus on 2 things. Let me this part and then we'll go in the detail as well. Okay, so foundation says just concentrate on the reporting requirement, that your all the foundation data reporting and your core data should be available in the service. Now, like all your processes, contracts, users, group, location, business units, all the things should be there. What crawling involve? Crawling says let's start building up this section. It includes your business application, your SDLC. Again, these are optional. Maybe in my company, in my project, I don't have any deployment team. My developer do the deployments. So it is up to you. Then application services and the discoverable PCs. That is your infra part. In the walk, means now you're little bit stable. In the walk, start going for the dynamic CI group, technical part, these things in the background, and offering and the portfolio, which you are able to sell to the customer. In the run, because now you have a portfolio, so you can build up the business services. And once you have a business service, then you go for the capability and the catalog item. This is what the ServiceNow recommend the steps we have to be followed up. So now let's go in a one by one manner. And I know that in the foundation, everybody know everything, but still as a part of the discussion, let's discuss this part. Okay. The primary use of data for the reporting. Everybody who is beyond the senior level, they want the reporting. Not even the senior level, everybody on the management level, team lead level, they want the reports. And for the reports, they need the data. If data is accurate, you can make a decision. If data is not accurate, you cannot make the decision and it can impact your projects as well. So in this area, what ServiceNow says, let's start with the foundation data. And they say is number one, they categorize it as an organization structure. Maybe you can say, Atul, come on, everybody know that this is required. Yes, but these are the steps which you have to be understand. You have to be think from the fresh implementation. Even though I said, if you are building, let's say you are implementing ServiceNow for a customer first time, then also these things are required. At least foundation data is help you to establish that part. And what this says in the foundation data, all are the out-of-box tables. Company, business unit, department are the number one tables or the topmost table which you have to be bring the data. Now a company can be internal or the external as well. So like if I go here and I can show you companies here, so you can see here. So now first of all you have to be create the company. So your company can be customer, your company can be vendor, your company can be manufacturer, your company can be primary. So if you see here, your internal company may also be a manufacturer. Like a bigger group, under that we have a smaller groups. A vendor flag indicates those companies that provide product that you procure. Maybe you are doing something with the Microsoft, so it can be vendor for you. Your internal company may also be a vendor for you. It is totally decision from the business perspective. But as a consultant, because I'm a consultant, for me it is important to understand that in which area I have to be divided. Even though there's no specific rules has been defined on this part, that's fine. But still for the categorization purpose, you can use that part. Then the business units. We have to be clear, we have to be very clear. Business units and departments are the two different concepts. You can say it is a line of business. Departments can be multiple. One department can serve to the multiple BU. So it says that BU is a table with the reference of the company they are part of. BU can be part of your organization in the charge of finance, HR, IT, or so on. So if I show you here, let's go. Business unit. You can see under the organization. So you can see finance, HR, IT, legal are the business, and they can under which company they will be residing. You can put it here. Who is heading that BU? Okay. Now if I come this part, because it is again foundation, it is be already there. Department, under that we have a different departments available. Again, the further stratification of your BU can be a department. This is what important here. Then you have to bring the location data, because to bring the user data, you have to bring the location. Now, one thing is important to be understand. What I learned from experience, it is required that I should bring or I should build the data only in this sequence in my ServiceNow instance. It is, you cannot repopulate the user record without populating these records on the place. So better company, BU, department, location, and then go for the next level. So in the location as ServiceNow in the CSDM 4.0, ServiceNow put a hierarchy for this. You can say region, country, state, city, site, and building structure. You can do that part. And in case you need further, want to go further up to room level, you can do as well, which is available in the ServiceNow. Okay, group, again, it is completely out of the box. Everybody know that group means a user, set of users who share the common purpose. And guys, this question come in the in the ITSM exams and in the CSA exams as well. So be careful. That is number time it has been asked here. So you can do the groups basis on your requirement, database group, network group, and all that kind of things. And also you can add the type of the group as well. It is ITIL group, it is a survey group, it is a catalog group, what type of group it is, you can do that part. Then user, it's nothing to be defined here because this is the first step we always do. One thing which I highlighted specifically, that there is a difference between group and the CMDB group. These two are the two different concepts. Let me come here. So if I go here, CMDB group, you can see it is coming from the table CMDB group list. Then group is coming from the sys user group table, and you can see here that if I pick up, let's say, devices, because we are going to use this CMDB group in the dynamic CI groups. So you can see that this group indicate as a part of the foundation. It means when you are just building the foundation, that time you can build the groups. But it doesn't mean that once a group activity has been done, I cannot do it again. It is again a evolving one. Maybe when you go in the next stage, you need little bit more, you need more groups, you can create that as well. So that is why I differentiate this. This group and this group are the two different entities, two different tables. Okay, if you make it, and you say here, early consideration of how you wish to report on the monitor CI will help this group. So if you know that, okay, I want to know, because in the foundation we are building up the CIs as well. Okay, so in the foundation you can see that, okay, I need to see all the server, all the databases of this particular location. Then these groups can help you to do that part. And you can see here, you can put the save query, you can put encoded query, and you can put this part. And if you click on the show all CI, it will show all CI related to these three particular queries here. Okay, and then you can do that. But it is really interesting concept which ServiceNow introduced here. Okay, then the product model. If you notice even in the Tokyo and the previous release, ServiceNow give a new concept called the change model. Why? Because customer is complaining that they are not able to modify or configure the approval workflow as per their requirement. So ServiceNow introduced the modeling part, and here the same thing ServiceNow is using, the product model. So if you go here and check for the product model, you can see. So these are the product models ServiceNow provided out of the box. Model categories: application model, bundled model, consumable, contract, and this. So I can put it here and I can see. So like these are the product models available. Under that, if you open this, let's say I open this, I can see the catalog and which catalog it is be there, and it is a consumable or not, because it's a hard drive, it's a consumable one for me. Okay, now if I go here, and according to the model, product model, the parameters can be changed. Let me see if I put this one. You can see a lot of information is there. We have a substitutes, we have a asset and CI, because ServiceNow say this is the place where in the model you can see this model has how many assets and how many CIs in that part. So you can see this point. And this is what out of the box table meant to identify unique type of product developed or consumed by the organization. This is again interesting part and to be understand here. Then contracts, the bindings, SLA kind of things, you can put it here. So this is what ServiceNow say you have to be bring into the foundation one. This is what. Only these things you have to be to, and also once you're bringing that, you have to follow the life cycle as well, which we already discussed in the foundation part. Now the question comes, what value this particular thing bring for me? This bring mainly it is a foundation data. At least you start using your ServiceNow, maybe with the minimum information, only groups or locations of the users are there, number one. Then it help you to align your reporting requirements, that what I want to do, what data I have, I can do that part. And also it reduce or eliminate the rework of the aligning of the data. It means in the simple part, if I in the simple words, if I say your foundation is basically helping you to build your reporting requirements and clarify your reporting requirements in that particular part. Okay, once you're done with the foundation, then start crawling it. Crawling means now let's start going a little bit more technical thing, because now we have to be implement one step. So maybe first 3 to 4 months you just take these things to be set up and normalize and make sure that data should be corrected, because if this data is wrong, then your next things also getting be wrong, because you're going to be use user group and other things in the upcoming data. Under this ServiceNow say only 3 part. Number one, sorry, it says, yep, it's mainly talking about the application. And what ServiceNow say, we already discussed this part: application, business application, and the application service. Only thing which is important to understand, number one, is that this thing, application and application service are the operational CIs, but business application is not a operational CI, and it is mainly on the environment specific, but these are not the environment specific CI. Okay, it's a maybe but not sure, but it is almost on the environment specific will be there. So this is what the main difference, because in this, if you are paying for the CSDM exams, this is the important slide which can help you to get your answers clarified. I'm not going to be discussing this part because we already have a discussion. Now what ServiceNow say in the crawling part? It says, number one, build the business application. Business application, simple, we can go here and we can search here, and you can see here under the design we are seeing this part, which we created yesterday. Business application we created yesterday, and it's a non-operational and should not be used. Then SDLC, new table in the CMDB, but it is not available. Why? Because you have to be taken from the App Store. That is in the previous video, if you notice that I tried for the SDLC component, it was not available because this is not coming out of the box. You have to be get it from the App Store only, this particular part. Again, this is not a CI. Again, if you notice that in the crawling part, this particular part was the optional, not the mandatory part. So if you want to implement now, you can implement, otherwise you can leave it. And the last, the application service, which is important. Application service means I'm talking about this area now. This area, application service, I'm talking about this area. So earlier we have done this, now we are building this, sorry, this and this relationship we're building like this. And also ServiceNow, the application service is a glue. Yes, because it is the only place which relate or combine everything. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The traversing or the traveling can be from any way, but this is the central place which combining or linking everything in the background. So it is very much important how you define your application. It can be on the environment basis and it can be on the geographical basis. Now maybe you can say, Atul, if I say on the geographical basis, it can be offering. No, it is not an offering. Maybe I can say EMEA production, EMEA QA, EMEA dev. But I'm not saying that only for EMEA I have this many offering. No, application service has no offering at point of time. So don't get confused with this particular part. And the last, application is basically, it is out of the box. Since the ServiceNow CMDB, this table is not an inventory table because it stores the discoverable instances of an application, the code related to process running on a host. It is a technical CI created and maintained by the discovery. So if your service mapping is there, this can be work for you automatically. So it's here also mentioned there, with discovery in place, application will be automatically to their host, providing impact hierarchy on this part. And you can, on the top of that, you can use service mapping and all things will be there. Manual population of the application table is not recommended, because at the last when you're running, I see there are two things. Either your customer say I never use the service discovery, then you can go for the application creation of the application, the manual part. But you know that after 6 months or 8 months your customer want to do that part, then better don't create it manually. Let do the discovery part and then build it up here. So this is what the 3 things ServiceNow say to build in the crawling part. So total 4 out of the box CMDB table: business application, application service, application, and the server, and the other discoverable part which we see. Now what benefit to implement this part? Number 1, your minimum CMDB is ready. Now you have these things, right? It means you can raise your incident, change, and problem easily on that part. Second, it is a future for APM, application portfolio management, because now you're building your application services. It is a foundation for the DevOps. Now DevOps know that on which particular bundle, application or infra, I have to do the build part. Okay, then it is again for the technology portfolio as well, and it will be a enhancements for the, or it's going to be based for the upcoming tables, because application service is going to be based for the these 2 parts. This is what the crawling says. Now I start learning, foundation done, crawling down, let's walk. And now in this part, ServiceNow introduce the part of the services here. So in the previous one we mainly talk about the applications. Here we're talking about the services specifically. Okay, deployed application and infra needs someone to manage this part. Now you deploy this part, production you deployed. Who is going to be managed? We need a team here. This is what the walking part. Technical service and service offering are part here. I'm not going to in the table because we already have these things there, but this is what the 3rd step you have to follow. Okay, 3rd step you have to follow, and at last here you can use the dynamic CI group. So it means in the walking area, I am completing this particular domain. Now I have a application service, I have an infra, I have a technical services, and I have this thing. It means in my change, I can use this groups for the approval perspective. This is what my one thing has been done. And now at this point of time, I can say my system is almost, or 70% has been ready, because I have a foundation, I have a technical, I have a SDLC. Things are ready at my side. Now in the crawling part, in the walking part, ServiceNow recommended these things. So now if you say we build almost 1, 2, 3, and 4 components, and the 5 components is ready now. Now what is the value for this? Number 1, management of the configuration item. It means you know that what are the data is there in my CMDB, what I'm using, what I'm not using on that part. This is the number 1 part, and it is easy for you to manage, because now you have a you have an infra, and you know in the backend who is managing that part. This is the 1 part, is the benefit of this thing. I know that maybe you're thinking, Atul, come on, it's all theoretical part. Yes, it's all theoretical part. But consider the CSDM implementation as a separate project, because it required a lot of patience and a lot of discussions. This is the place, this is the area where technical discussions are not happening. Only functional discussions are going to be happen, that how to implement, what is the next step to be do here. Then it establishes a view, those CI, the technical team support in the organization, that who is supporting which services, I'm able to get the benefit of this one. Okay, this application supported by this technical service, who is the owners and other things, we can get it here. And again, it become a foundation for the portfolio. It help on the item products and the discovery as well, and more automation you can bring it, because now you have dynamic groups as well. You have groups, CMDB group, and you have dynamic groups as well. So now you can do more automation for your workflows and the other things. Now let's proceed to the second last part, that is called the run. Almost settled now. This done, and this is all almost done. And in the running part, I am coming on the customer perspective, that what I'm going to be sell to the customer, my portfolio specifically, I'm saying. So here ServiceNow say we are going to be use three tables which is available for the seller or the consumer. Number one, portfolio, business service portfolio, again not a CMDB table. Business service and business service offering we are going to be create under that part. So now once my internal part is ready, only then I can go in the market and say, okay guys, I'm available for the services, please put your order. This is what ServiceNow say. So up to this time your things are almost mature. So if I say to set up first part it's 3 months, second part 3 months, third part 3 months, now after almost 3 quarters you are able to launch yourself in the market and say, yes, I'm selling this thing and you can buy it from me. And the benefit, now you are getting almost a 100% impact of the ITSM. You will be putting a lay or foundation for the portfolio and the capability, and at last it is you are going to be build or use another ITSM capabilities on the top of that, because now you have a capability to identify who is getting impacted. You can see here, if I'm selling this, you can see in this part, if this is go down, then who is getting impacted in this particular part. This is what the benefit of this thing. And at last it says fly, don't bite off more than you can chew. And also I have in my video of the best project implementation best practices, I mentioned don't eat whole cake at once. And also to take a reference in ServiceNow item journey, it is mentioned that visibility, then I guess it's automation, then it go for the eligibility. So these three things has been there. So under the fly section, the few of the remaining things has been done. Number one, catalog. Number two, the capability, and number three is the information object. Basically in the information object I can say this all about the standards, like HIPAA is one of the standard, PCI is one of the standard, PII is the one of the standards which you can build it here. Again, not a table but available as a service catalog to the business consumers to do that part. And also one more thing which we missed out, if you notice that we did not discuss that why I'm doing foundation or crawling or walking or running or flying, I have to be create these rules as well in the respective manners. Doesn't mean that I'm just creating these groups or these services. I have to be create a specific role so that the specific person is able to manage or responsible for that particular part. And at last, what is the benefit of the fly? Number one, it's the APM capability, foundation for the APM and SPM. And last, it is identified the data may contain used within your business application. Okay, overall I can say yes, this is fine, but one thing is important here. The information object table may require sooner in your data also. So ServiceNow say maybe this thing you can bring up in the second or third phase only. Don't wait for the 5. Again, it depends. I'm telling you from experience, guys, that it's totally depend that what type of business your customer is handling. If they're in the hardware, then definitely few things to be done. If they're in the retail or food industry or the clothing industry, the fashion industry, then maybe few things can be up and down here and there as well. This is what the ServiceNow recommended here for everybody. So let's take a break here. Let me check if anything else I have to show you here. No. Okay. Now let's come here and see few examples. So I was checking in the Google. So there's a few examples if you want to understand that how the CSDM model has been built up. So you can say if it is not clear, you can check it here, like SAP platform, or this is what the ServiceNow says, like hosting, Linux, which we discussed already there as well. So you can use that examples for your references. Definitely, I still recommend if you get a time, please try to build at least this kind of model for any of the thing where we already provided some kind of examples, like for hospital you can do, for the city you can do, maybe for the some organization you can do, some banking sector you can do. Please try to create that part. Okay, so with this, let me take a break here for the day number 11. If you get some knowledge, if you like it, please put the like and the comments on the video, and let's wait for the next video. And thank you so much. Have a nice day.